This is 8-4, solving quadratic functions by graphing. We've learned other ways to solve quadratic functions already, and we know that the number of solutions we can have is no solution, one solution, or two solutions. So first we start by writing our function. Y equals 2x squared minus 2. The axis of symmetry we know is negative b over 2a. Well, a equals 2, b equals 0, and c is negative 2 from that equation. So we have negative b, which is 0 over 2 times 2. 0 over 4 equals 0. The vertex then, we plug in our 0 into that equation. So it will be 2 times 0 squared minus 2. Well, 0 squared 0 times 2 is 0, so it's going to be negative 2. The y-intercept is negative 2. And my other 2 points, so I could pick like 1, and we'll do 1 and 2. So when I plug in 1, I get 2 times 1 squared minus 2. PEMDAS, 1 squared is 1, times 2 is 2, minus 2 is 0. We'll do that with 2. 2 times 2 squared minus 2. PEMDAS, we do that 2 squared first. 2 squared is 4, times 2 is 8, minus 2 is 6. And we know that this graph is going to open up since a is positive. So when I graph this, I have my vertex, which is at 0, negative 2. I have a y-intercept also of negative 2. And my other 2 points are 1, 0 and 2, 6. And remember, we can reflect that across. So from the axis of symmetry, I can go up 1 to the right 1. So I go up 1 to the left 1 to reflect. And same thing for the other. We go up 8 and then over 2. So I'm going to go up 8 and to the left 2. And now I can graph my parabola based on that. And then I can find the zeros. The zeros are where we hit the x-axis. So I noticed that we hit at negative 1 and 1. Those are my zeros. So x equals negative 1 and 1. Now that we know the other ways to solve, we can also check. So we could solve by using square roots, for instance. So we could do like 2x squared minus 2 equals 0. Add 2 to both sides. 2x squared equals 2. Divide by 2 to both sides to isolate the x squared. We end up with x squared equals 1, but when we square root that, remember x will be plus or minus 1, which is exactly what I have, negative 1 and positive 1. And we could also solve using the quadratic formula. We could solve by factoring, taking the GCF. There's multiple different ways to solve for those zeros. Okay, so I'm going to write the related function. Y equals negative x squared minus 4x minus 4. For my a, it's negative 1, my b is negative 4, and my c is negative 4. So when I do the axis of symmetry, negative b is going to become positive 4 over 2 times negative 1, 2a. And 4 over negative 2 is negative 2. So my vertex is negative 2, comma. To find that out, we plug that into our original equation. So negative 2 squared minus 4 times negative 2 minus 4. And be sure to use PEMDAS, so negative 2 squared is 4, so that would be negative 4 plus 8 minus 4. Negative 4 plus 8 is 4, minus 4 is 0. Negative 2 is 0. The y-intercept is at negative 4. And for my other 2 points, I can pick, say I pick negative 1 and 1. I plug those in to find the value of y. When I do, I get negative 1 for y. And for this one, I get negative 9. And so let's take a look at how that would be graphed. So I'm going to graph my vertex, which is negative 2, 0. I'm going to graph my y-intercept of negative 4. And my other 2 points. So I had negative 1, and 1, negative 9. And now I can reflect all of that over the axis of symmetry. So it was down 1 to the right 1, so I'm going to go down 1 to the left 1. From the next one for the axis of symmetry, it would be over 2, and so I'm going to go over 2 in the other direction. And for the last one, it's over 3, so I'm going to go left 3. And here's my parabola. It's opening down since the a was negative. And so that's my graph. And then to find the zeros, we only have 1 0. It's hitting at negative 2. X is negative 2. That is my 0. And if you know the quadratic formula or you know how to factor already, you could go ahead and do that. So if we take out a negative, we would have, when we factor, we end up with x squared plus 4x plus 4 equals 0. And then when you factor, it's two things that multiply to 4 that add to 4, which is 2 and 2. So x plus 2, x plus 2. And so you solve these. The GCF kind of means nothing. It's negative 1 equals 0, so we don't look at that. And x plus 2 equals 0, so we get minus 2, x is negative 2. And when we factor the other one, it's also going to be x is negative 2, and so that's why there's only one solution this time.